I'm Mark Nelson, and I'm a professor up at Ohlone College. And how I got to Fremont, well, it's more like how I got to California. I was born in a foreign country called Wisconsin, and I was whisked off to Southern California when I was in the 6th grade. So swimming pools and movie stars and all that, beach weather. And grew up in Los Angeles under the shadow of UCLA. And went to school in Thousand Oaks at California Lutheran University. And after I finished that and did some grad school work, I got a job with the Renaissance Pleasure Fair, which has a southern and a northern base. And I moved up to Marin and worked in Marin for about a year. And I was contacting schools looking for a teaching job. It was more in my field. And got hired at Ohlone College. And that was in 1976, and Bill Collins and President Richter at the time hired me and told me about the community and stuff. I remember driving down here, and the comment was, just go down 880 until you see the pet cemetery and make a left. And I thought that was an interesting way to describe a city. And pulled into Mission San Jose, which was a little bit rough around the edges during that time. I think there were 5 or 6 gas stations there and 4 were closed. And the school was new. It was up on the hill. It was kind of a cute place. And everybody was very friendly. Sometimes they referred to it as Camp Ohlone. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody lived in Fremont. People appreciated each other's work and respected each other. It was a great place to start my career teaching. And again, in '76, we really were operating out of a small temporary building called Studio 22. And during that time, I met Fred Allam, who's a longtime employee at Ohlone and still works in the theater program. And I worked with Craig Jackson, who is known as the father of Ohlone College Theater, and Sam Levine, who was an instructor at a high school in San Leandro for many years, as well as at Berkeley, and taught part-time at Ohlone for about 30 years. And we worked on the summer musicals, which was our big show because our theater was so small. And that was one of the big shows and the big events in Fremont during those days. I worked with some of the local theater groups, Fremont Community Theatre, which was presenting plays wherever they could find a space, including Niles Elementary. I worked with the high schools. I worked Mission San Jose. We had a program working with the school there, and of course we worked with Jackie Calvert and then Linda Jackson down at Irvington. Had strong ties with those schools, as well as Newark. Fremont has changed as Ohlone College has changed. Eventually we grew up and we convinced the administration to give us a new building. And we put in a $22 million performing arts center, which was really cool, with 2 TV studios and a radio station and a dance studio, an outdoor amphitheater that really worked, and 2 theaters for the drama department to work in, as well as the music department. The program moves forward. We've opened up the building for outside use a lot, and with the changing complexion in Fremont, all sorts of different cultural groups are now using the building, and that's quite exciting. Groups that tend not to be involved with theater, perhaps, for the most part, are still able to use that space, and it's a continuation of kind of the theater seed that myself and some of the other people started here in the Fremont area. We were able to take a show to Japan with the sister city in Fukaya back in '81, which sounds like a long time ago to some. And that tradition went on, and I think they've taken a couple other shows since. Let's see what else. I was able to take some time off during my stay at Ohlone and went back to UCLA and worked on an advanced degree and actually spent some time at NYU and finished a certificate program in theater management. We've worked for, and my students have worked for a whole host of different computer companies setting up trade show booths or painting backdrops or hosting parties or designing theme parties and stuff. And again, this new building has really now become a touchstone for a lot of the arts, especially with television and film and dance, and our new expanded Summerfest series. In fact, we're running the Music Man this summer, so there's a plug for that particular production. Runs a couple weekends here in July. But we used to judge talent shows at the Hub a million years ago. I just remember coming down on the freeway the first time I came down here, and no sound walls, and you could see the town. It was really, it's a really great community, very diverse and wide open spaces, and it still has that feel. It's a great place, and that little college up on the hill has been kind to me, and I think the college has worked well for the community for a variety of reasons. I'm really glad that I got placed in Ohlone.